Thank you very much. When I came here, I didn't realize they were going to give me 12 minutes to speak, and it may be the first time that I've ever actually not exceeded my allotted time, so we'll see. Thank you, Marcia. I'm running for the 59th District State Representative. I ran in 2008 against Kathy Raig, and the reason I did back then was I went to vote in 2006. I've always helped out different conservative candidates. And when I went to vote, I was in the voting booth, and there was only one name on the ballot for state rep. And that irritated me, that we had no choice. And so 2 years later, I asked the local Republicans, who's running against Kathy Raig, because I want to help out whoever it is. Kathy's a nice lady who was like this with Rob Blagojevich, very far to the left, who will basically tell you exactly what you want to hear, and then go down to Springfield and vote exactly against what everybody here stands for. Does it sound familiar? Yes. Well, so I said, who's running against Kathy Raig? And the response I got was, nobody. Do you want to run? That's how I got involved. And so I was the sacrificial lamb in 2008. And then I promised people I'd run again, so I decided, I'm going to fulfill my promise. I'll give it one more shot. I owe that to the people who helped me out in 2008. And in 2010, I made my announcement, and then Kathy Raig resigned. And the powers that be down in Springfield said, wow, we can pick up the seat. Who's this Dan Sugrue guy anyway? We don't know him. There's a phrase in Illinois, we don't want nobody that nobody sent. And nobody sent me. So I had a primary. And fortunately, I had the help of good people like you and the local and good precinct committeemen in the Lake County Republican Party and Libertyville Township and Vernon Township and West Deerfield Township. And the local Republican Party said, well, we're helping out Dan. And you and I, conservatives, said, we don't care who was recommended from on high. We're not the Democratic Party here. We don't take our orders from the hierarchy. We choose our candidates based on what we believe and what principles they follow. And I won my primary, and now our party bosses are stuck with me. So here I am today. I'm running against an opponent who was appointed by the party bosses in the other party, in the Democratic Party. And so we have a classic confrontation. But we're not here to talk about this. I want to talk about my favorite topics in the world, and that is the founding of this nation and the founding documents of this nation. Because very rarely do I get to talk about this as much as I do with you people, and I'm really grateful for that. I remember Sarah Palin was on Fox News a couple days ago, and she was talking to Greta Van Susteren, and she said, I never thought I would live in a country where you would be considered a kook for talking about the founding fathers and the foundational documents of this nation. But that's basically what they're doing. They're saying, you people are weird because you talk about the Declaration of Independence and you talk about the Constitution. And that's not normal. Well, if that's not normal, then we live in a world right now that is far beyond what our founding fathers envisioned. I want to go back to that moment. We look at the Constitution, look at the 10th Amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited to it by the states, are reserved for the states, respectively, or to the people. Our founders founded a nation based on the consent of the governed. Ours was to be a country where the people choose their government. And I think what you mentioned earlier about, it's a good thing the government should be afraid of the people. We don't want the opposite. We don't want a country in which the people are afraid of the government.
Right.
That's what we've gotten away from right now. In the Gettysburg Address, Abraham Lincoln referred to this as government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And he prayed that it should not perish from this earth. And the problem that we have right now is that a lot of our ruling class, and they are a ruling class, have forgotten that this is a government of the people and by the people and for the people. And before they start calling me a kook again because I'm referring to documents that are over 100 and 200 years old, I'm going to read from another document, which is one of my favorite. I love this part, and I want to see if any of you can guess what this is. Well, you'll be able to guess right away. We, the people of the state of Illinois, grateful to Almighty God for the civil, political, and religious liberty which He has permitted us to enjoy, and seeking His blessing upon our endeavors, in order to provide for the health, safety, and welfare of the people, maintain a representative and orderly government, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the state of Illinois. This is the Illinois Constitution. This is the preamble of the Illinois Constitution. This document that basically says that everything we have, that our rights and our liberties don't come from government, they come from Almighty God. When was this ancient document written? Does anybody know?
1818.
Nope. Keep going. 1970. 40 years ago. A year after Woodstock. The year the Beatles broke up. They said this in 1970. Doesn't 40 years is not a long time, you know. Back in 1970, we had our first Earth Day in 1970. In 1970, a young man from the southwest side of Chicago won election to the Illinois House as a Democrat, unfortunately. His name was Michael Madigan. Yeah, well, maybe that was a long time ago after. So when Michael Madigan first became a state representative, the people, the good people of the state of Illinois, through their elected delegates, had written that we, the people of the state of Illinois, grateful to Almighty God for the civil, political, and religious liberty which He has permitted us to enjoy, and seeking His blessing upon our endeavors, ordain and establish His Constitution. How far have we come in 40 years? Think about that. Now, through the endeavor of that same Michael Madigan, we have a government in Springfield that no longer believes that our rights come from God, that no longer believe that this is a nation of the people, by the people, and for the people. Now this is a nation of the elite, by the elite, and for the elite. Yes. We have gone far, very far, from not only what our founders envisioned, but what people envisioned just 40 years ago. In 40 years now, we have a government that is so contemptuous of what we believe. It is our money, after all, that funds this government down in Springfield. It is our money. It's our tax money. It's supposed to be our government. It's supposed to be our state. It's supposed to be our nation. They're so contemptuous that in 2009, when Barack Obama became president and there was a vacant seat in the U.S. Senate, they thought for a minute and they said, you know, we really should have a special election so the people can choose the next senator. Nah. If they do that, they might pick somebody we don't want. No, let's not do that after that. This is how contemptuous are they, that we have a health care bill that's 2,700 pages long, and they give lawmakers 3 days to look at it. Well, that contempt comes from Springfield, where the last state budget was 2,300 pages long, and lawmakers had 45 minutes to look at it. This is their attitude towards we the people. And what I'm saying right here is if it only took 40 years to get from this to where we are now, then we can certainly go back again. Yep. But we have to start now. We have a terrific opportunity to take this state back. But like Joshua Chamberlain in the Battle of Gettysburg, we can't retreat either. We can't hold the line. Because if we don't charge now, if we don't take advantage of this, we don't know what kind of state we're going to have after this.
Yes.
Keep in mind a few things, and I know this might be, well, it's not into the weeds for us. Let's just state outright. We have a census this year, and next year, or excuse me, in 2010 we had a census. Next year they're going to redistrict. And if we don't take back the state of Illinois from the ruling elites, who's going to pick the map, for the legislative map for the state of Illinois next year? It's not going to be us. We're not going to have any say in this. When Bob Blagojevich was arrested, and while he was being impeached, the state of Illinois was considering a bill, and it basically went through the Illinois House to limit the amount of contributions that everybody can make, to get the money out of politics, they said. $5,000 for individuals, we'll limit to $10,000 for union and PACs. And then it went to the Rules Committee, and that's where Mike Madigan gets his claws on it. And it gets spit out of rules, and it says, oh yeah, we still have $5,000 and $10,000. Unless your name is Mike Madigan, then there's no limit. This bill has become law, was signed by Governor Quinn, and is effective next year, unless we stop it. This is our last chance. This is our last chance to stop the ruling elite from drawing our maps, from changing the laws to benefit them, from turning Illinois even more into their own personal piggy bank. This is our state. It is not theirs. They work for us. We don't work for them. We need to send that message loud and clear. We have 60 days to do it. We need your help. Can you help us do it now? Can you help us? Throughout our nation's history, there have been times when our nation has been in peril. Obviously when our nation was founded, the Civil War, obviously, World War II. Generation after generation of Americans have stood up for their country and defended our liberties when our nation most needed their help. Well, this year, this time, our liberties are at risk, not from a foreign invader, but from a ruling elite that has to be stopped. Will this generation step forward like past generations and defend our liberties? We need you to do that. We need you, and future generations need you. Will you help us? I've got literature in the back. I've got a parade to march on Sunday. I've got people that I need to help. I need help people walking for me, making phone calls for me. Whatever you can do, we the people are the only ones left. We are the army of liberty, the only army remaining between us and the tyranny of the elites. We have to do it this year. There is no other year to do it. There's no tomorrow. We need your help now. Help, whatever you can do, I would appreciate your help. Thank you very much.